Hey everyone, in this video I will be showing you how to perform post and update operation in MySQL using Node.js and Postman. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to install the libraries, okay? So for this we need two libraries, one is Express and another one is MySQL. So just go to your folder path in terminal of Visual Studio Code and type npm I space express and MySQL and just hit enter. Just wait till the libraries are getting downloaded. So once the libraries are installed, just go to your folder over here and just click new file, and I will just name it as main.js. You can name whatever you want and just hit enter. And let me just now close this. So as usual, we will be importing the libraries, okay? So it's going to be var express equal to require express, and let me just now copy this and paste it, and I will just change this to MySQL here as well. And next I will be like declaring my app variable, let var app equal to express, and I will be also using express.json because we will be posting data in a form of JSON. So it's going to be app.use express dot JSON. That's fine. So once you're done with importing libraries, we need to create our connection variable. All right, so just come to the next line and type const let con be my connection variable equal to MySQL. So you need to like basically use this variable over here dot, you'll be having this create connection and just open a circular bracket and a curly bracket, and within this connection variable we will be defining our host, username, password and database name. Okay, so first one is going to be the host. So since I am using my MySQL locally, I will be just having the host as localhost. So it's localhost, and just come to the next one and it's going to be user. So you need to specify your username over here. So for me, by default username is root. I will just put root over here. So you need to specify your username, what you are having for you in your MySQL, okay? So for me in my MySQL workbench, I am having the username as root over here. By default, majority of you will be having the name as root, but you need to be like specify your username, okay? It's going to be unique in some cases. So just specify your username and just put a comma, and next one is going to be the password. This is also going to be like specific for particular user. So I will just enter my password, okay? So it's okay, that's fine. And next is my database name. So let me just put database, and here you need to specify only the existing database, okay? So in my case, I'm just going to use this particular database over here. I'm just going to create it after just typing it out. So I will just use this database. So now we are done with our connection variable. Now let's just try to connect it, okay? Think I made a minor mistake over here. I think this JSON should have a circular bracket as well, okay? Just add it, and it's going to be my connection variable name, which is con dot connect, and here we will be having a callback function. All right, so just put error, which basically just catches in case if there is any error, and an arrow function. So if there is any error, okay, we will be just consoling that error. All right, so it's console.log that particular error, and in case if we aren't having any error, the else block will be getting executed. So it's going to be else. You will just have a console.log as connected. That's fine, I guess. So let me just now save it. And another important thing, we need to create this particular database. All right, so let me just now go to my MySQL workbench and just create this database. Yeah, if I refresh it now, I'll be having here new DB. So now if I just go and run this particular code, so for running it, it's going to be node and your .js file, which is main in my case. So it's main.js, and just hit enter. So here you can see I'm getting connected, which means that I'm not having any error over here. So this is fine. Now let's just go and create our post function. All right, so let me just now stop it. For stopping it, it is Control plus C. All right, yeah, it stopped now. So for creating our post function, just come down, okay? We will be using this app variable. All right, so it's going to be app dot post function. all right, because we are going to just post data. It's not going to be get or fetch, something like that. It's going to be post, and just open circular bracket. And first thing, we will need to specify the path. Okay, so I will just have the path as /post. You can keep whatever you want. So this path will be used as in the URL in our Postman. It's going to be coming over here. All right, you can like use whatever name you want, and just come outside and have a callback function. So it's going to be request comma response, and a arrow function over here as well. So here I am going to pass three variables, okay, in Postman. So these three variables should be present in the column as well. So these are the variables that I'm going to pass. One is ID, one is name, another one is mark. So these three variables should be a column in your particular table in the database, okay. So this is how it's going to be. I'm going to pass ID, name, and mark. So just come inside your post function. It's going to be const name equal to request dot body dot name, and just put a semicolon. And let me just now copy this. It's going to be much more easy, and paste it twice. And then let me just put it as ID, and ID here as well, and mark, and mark here as well. So I'll be getting all this data from my Postman. All right, I will be passing this as a JSON from my Postman, and it will be then caught by these variables over here. So for this, you need to do request.body. And in case if you are passing from your parameter over here, it's going to be request.params. So in case we are just going to use request.body. Okay, so this is fine. And next thing, we are just going to write a simple SQL query, okay, to post this data in our MySQL database. So it's going to be our connection variable, which is CON, this particular variable that we have used over here. Okay, dot query function, query, and just open circular bracket, and inside this we are going to write our SQL query. So it's going to be insert into your table name. So I'm going to use this my table. All right, this particular table needs to be present inside your database that you have specified over here. So I am yet to create this table, okay, in my MySQL database. I will create this once I have completed typing my code. So it's going to be my table, and it's going to be values. And here is the important part. All right, you just open circular bracket, and you have to put question mark, comma, question mark, comma, question mark. So the reason why I am putting three question mark here is because I am passing here three values, and this directly corresponds to the number of columns present in my table. All right, so you need to be careful over here. And if you are having two values or two columns, you need to just put two question mark over here. I hope that made sense. So after writing this, just come outside of this single quote and just put a comma, and just have a square bracket. Just put ID, comma, name, comma, mark. So this one is going to be in the same order how you have defined in your table, all right, in your table in MySQL. So if I now go to my MySQL bench, I am having like this create table, my table. I am having ID at first, ID as the first column, name as the second column, and my mark as the third column. So it needs to be in this order because it is of type int, this is of type varchar or string, this is of type int as well. So it needs to follow this particular order. So it's always better to have the same order while you are inserting in Node.js as well. So it's ID, name, and mark, and it's same here as well. You need to like specify it according to your way of doing it. So once you are done with this, we will be having here another callback function. All right, so just to catch the data and the result. So let me just put error to catch the, in case there is any error, and I'll just put a comma and result. All right, and then an arrow function as well. And just the same thing, let me just now go here and copy this. So this is how it is. In case if you aren't able to see, let me just now scroll this. Yeah, this is the thing. So I'll just paste this over here. So in case if there is any error, it will be caught and consoled over here. And in case if you aren't having any error, let me just send the response. So it's response dot send. I'll be just putting posted over here. We will be getting this posted response in our Postman over here as a response. All right. So now I think we are good with our post function. All right. Now we need to just start our server. So for that, it's going to be just come outside of the post function. It's going to be app.listen, and you need to specify your port. So I will go with 3000, or you can just specify any free port that is available. And another callback function, same thing. just a error, and I will just paste it again as well. I will just console.log on port 3000. So this is fine. I guess you need to be just careful with this particular part. I think this is where most people make the mistake. So you need to be just careful with it, just a same SQL command. All right. So now let's just run and see with the help of Postman. So I'm just now saving it, and I will go to my terminal and again start the server. So this time you can see I'm getting on port 3000 connected, which means that there isn't any error. So let me just now copy this, all right, this particular variables. And now what you need to do is you need to go to Postman, and you need to change to post, all right. It will be in get or some other thing. You need to change it to post, really important thing. And you need to just copy this particular path, all right. You need to copy that path and add it after your localhost 3000 or your particular port number, all right. And this port needs to be the same over here. Okay, that's another important thing as well. So this is done. So now again just go to Postman, and you're going to body. Okay, you need to go to body option, and you need to go to raw, and you need to change the format as JSON. All right, really important thing, because we are sending the data in a form of JSON. So you have to just make sure that it is in text, it's JSON. Okay, so now just paste this. All right, and let's just convert this particular thing into JSON. So just put a curly bracket. All right, so now I am not getting any errors. So trailing command. Okay, I can just remove this. So now it's fine. So now I'm not having any errors. So if the particular name is of string type, you need to have this within double quotes, and this is of int type, so I'm not having any double quotes over here. So this is going to be our payload, okay, for posting data. And final thing, we need to create this particular table, all right. So just go to your MySQL workbench, and I've already created the database. So I will just now use this particular database. It's going to be use this database, all right. So I will just use this. Yeah, it's fine. So now I will just go and create this particular table. Yeah, it's created, and just insert some values as well. So I will have 1 as A, and I will just have it as some 10 or something as mark, and I will just insert this as well. So this is fine, and I will just now select my table. Yeah, so only 2 rows are now present. So if I insert something, it needs to be added as a third row. Okay, so now let me just go to my code. It's running, and I will just go to my Postman, and I will just click send. So here you can see I'm getting posted, and if I just now go to my MySQL workbench, that particular table, if I just now select it again, yeah, so now here you can see I'm having 1000 ABC and 1000 as well, which is directly corresponding to this data over here. So I will just put one for all as well, and I will just send it again. And if I just now go and again select this, yeah, so this is now working perfectly fine, and I hope you have found this video useful. I have also run fetch by using ID and fetch all the data in MySQL as well as Node.js. So I also run many other videos in Node.js, C, C++, React.js, Python, SQL queries, 3D animation using Blender. So do check other videos of my channel, subscribe me. Thanks for watching. And now let's go and start with our update function. So just scroll down, and here we will be defining our update function. So it's going to be app.put, all right. So for updating, we will use put, and just open circular bracket, and here we need to specify the path of our function. So I will go with /update, and we will be passing the ID as a parameter. So it's going to be :id. It's your choice. You can even pass it in the form of a body as a payload from Postman, but I'm going with parameter, all right. And next one is going to be a callback function. It's going to be request response with the arrow function over here as well. And next we will be basically like extracting this ID over here. So it's going to be const, let me just go with up ID, update ID, something like that, equal to request dot params dot ID. So this ID that we are passing as a parameter from our URL in Postman will be caught by this particular variable, and it will be stored in this variable. And next thing, I will be having 2 other values as well. So it's going to be const name equal to request dot, this one is body because I'm going to pass it as a payload from Postman, name, and let me just now copy this and paste it. I will go with mark and mark here as well. So these three values, ID, name, and mark, should directly correspond to the three column values that you're having in your table. So here you can see this is my table that I'm having in this new DB database, and I'm having three columns named ID of type int, name as type varchar or string, and mark as of type int. So I'm having ID, name, and mark, and that should be directly corresponding to the values that you are having in your code as well. So that's the reason I'm having this ID, name, and mark. It's fine, I guess. And next thing, we will be having our query, that is basically our SQL query to update. So it's going to be our connection variable, which is con dot. We need to use the query function and just open it. And here we have to specify the basic SQL query. So for all the updating the table, it's going to be update. You need to specify your table name. So my table name is over here. It's known as my table. You can have whatever you want. Let me just now copy this, and this particular table should be present in this database. Okay, in this database that you have specified over here. Otherwise, you will be getting an error. So it's going to be update your table name set, and here we are going to change name and mark with the help of the ID. All right. So it will be name equal to question mark, and just put a comma over here, and mark equal to question mark, and we'll be using the var class where id equal to, and just come outside of it, and here you need to specify name, mark, and update id. All right, so this is how it's going to work, and these are the column names, basically name, mark, and id, as I told you earlier, and these are the variables that we are having over here. So our name, this question mark, will be replaced by this name variable. This question mark corresponding to mark will be replaced by this mark variable, and this question mark will be replaced by this up id to id. So this is basically how it's work. It's like a really simple code over here. And after this, we will be having another callback function. So just put a comma. So it's going to be error comma result. You can name it this way, and another arrow function, and just open it. So maybe I can just, if you want to see this, I will just scroll it. Yeah, so these are the things over here. So you can just basically copy this and paste it over here, because it's just the same thing. If any error is coming, if error is true, it will be consoled, and if you don't have any error, let's just send a response to our Postman. It's going to be response.send, or you can console the result, send the result. You can do whatever you want. I will just go with response.send updated, like that, a text. So this response.send string will be appearing over here in the response column of our Postman. So this is now fine. That's our update function for now. So I think that's the code now. So let me just now run it. So it's node file name.js. So as you can see here, I'm getting on port 3000 and connected, which means that I'm not having any errors in this code. So now let me just go to my Postman. We need to just be careful now. So the first thing, you need to just go to workspace and create a new workspace over here. I think it's like basic. And after that, what you need to do is you need to first change this operation to put. It's really important thing, and you need to just change the path over here as well. So you need to just go over here, and you need to basically just copy this path and go to Postman and just paste it, and you need to go to raw and you need to change this to JSON. All right, and you need to just pass here name within double quotes. Let me just name it as something. I will just go with BBB, like that, and I'll just put a comma, and I will just go with mark as 1000 maybe. Yeah, this is fine for now, because we are going to update name and mark with the help of ID. All right, we are not going to update the ID. So that's the reason why I'm passing the name and mark over here. So now the final thing what we need to do is, we haven't created this table yet. So let me just go to my MySQL workbench, and let me first use this particular database, and let me just create this table. Yeah, table has been created, and insert some values. I will go with another value as well. 2b 2b10 is fine. We just insert this as well. So if I now select this particular table, so as you can see here, we are having two rows basically of ID 1 and 2. So we need to pass 1 or 2 in the Postman. So I will go with 1 at first. Yeah, and I think we are now done. So I think there's a minor change. Double slash won't be coming here. All right. So my server is now running. So let me just now send this data. All right. Everything is fine, I guess. So if I just go to my response, so here you can see I'm getting updated. And if I just now go to my MySQL workbench, because we are updating ID 1, all right, this 1 will be caught by the code up ID over here. This variable will store 1 and it will perform the update operation, and name and mark corresponds to these values. So if I now go to my MySQL workbench, the ID 1 value should be triple B and 1000. So I'm going to my MySQL workbench. So if I just now again select this particular table, so here you can see I'm getting the ID 1 with value as triple B and 1000. So let me just now go and basically console the result, all right, this result thing over here. So let me just now copy this and let me just do a console.log of result, all right, result, that's fine, I guess. Yeah. So let me just now save it and rerun it again. So again, I will just go to my Postman and I will just have the same values. I will just go with double B and 100 this time, same ID as well. So if I just now send it, so I'll be getting updated, and here you can see this is the result what we are getting. We are having affected rows 1, inserted ID, server status warning, change rows 1. So if we are getting change rows 1 means that our updation is successful. So if I just now select it, yeah, so here you can see I'm getting this result over here. So what if now we did this? Let's suppose say that we are passing a ID that isn't even present in our MySQL table. So if I go to my Postman, and what if I send 100, because 100 isn't present in my table, only 1 and 2 are there. So let's just try it out what happens. If I just now send it, I'm getting updated. So here you can see I'm getting affected rows as 0 and changed rows as 0 as well. So now what if I send some value that is present in my table? So I will go with 2B10, all right. So I will just go here, and if I just now send 2 and send it, so this time you can see for the ID 2, I am getting affected rows as 1, changed rows as 1. But for the ID that isn't present in my database, I am getting affected rows as 0, changed rows as 0. So by this way, we can be able to find whether that ID is present or not by using this affected rows, all right? Because if we send the exact same thing again, so let's suppose say that I'm sending 2B100 again. And if I just now go to my table, all right, I'm just having the same value again. So if I just now send the exact same thing, the updation process won't occur. So here you can see, this is for the last thing. There has been no change rows because that value is same already in the database. There is no need of updation even if we send a request from Postman. So basically the change rows has remained none, but affected rows has occurred. So what we can conclude from this is that if that particular ID is not present in the database, the affected rows is going to be 0. So for this, we can just have a if condition over here. So what we can do is, instead of this response dot updated, we can just cut this and remove this as well. We can have a if condition over here. If our result, and the name of this is update affected rows, all right. So let me just now copy this and dot affected rows. If it is equal to 0 means that particular ID is not present in our table. So let me just put response dot send. I will go with ID not present, and let me just have a else block. Else let us just print updated. That's fine, I guess. You can just have any other condition, any other like fetch or trigger over here as well, like according to your use. Let me just have a response. So I'm saving it now. So I will stop this and rerun it again. So we are going to do 3 trials, all right. So first thing, the normal way, I will go with ID 2, and this time I will just change the value. I will go with CC, all right. So if I just now send it, so here you can see we are getting updated and the data is also changing now. Okay. So now if I just click on again send, all right, will be getting updated because I have just sent over here updated. And the final thing what we can do is we can send some ID that isn't present in our database. So I will go with 200, and if I just now send it, so here you can see I'm getting ID not present. So you can also have another condition, like if the affected rows are greater than 0 and change rows are equal to 0, you can just basically print already updated. Like let's suppose either we are sending the same data in the Postman as present in MySQL. You can also have that check as well. So this is basically like how you update data present in MySQL using Node.js, and I hope you have found this video useful. I've also done many other videos in Node.js, MySQL, React.js, C, C++, Java, Python, 3D animation using Blender, SQL queries. So do check other videos of my channel. Subscribe me. Thanks for watching.